Growing up in Eastern Europe meant that we didn't always get the best games. A lot of sketchy studios and publishers just wanted to make a quick buck by releasing low-budget games. These were usually either rip-offs or half-finished projects. Well, sometimes even both. And since people's financials were not looking great around the early 2000s, these cheap games sold like hotcakes. Imagine your kid asking for a $40 Call of Duty. Wouldn't you rather buy Battlestrike The Siege for $10? Hell yeah! Back then, I didn't know what to call these kind of games. But now we have the perfect term, Janks. And Jank comes in many flavors. Eurojank for mysterious, charming, low-budget weirdness from across the continent, Slavjank, usually from Russia, Ukraine or other post-Soviet countries, and even Amerijank from the land of the free. Lovely. And once I started digging into this world, I realized something. This is a goddamn iceberg. Sure, you might have heard about some of the iconic Janks, like You Are Empty, but I guarantee I could show you dozens you have never even seen before. Games with multiple titles, different covers depending on the country, and developers that seem to exist for the sole purpose of cranking out cheap, janky games. Since I grew up with these, I already know a lot of them. But don't get me wrong, janks are not all bad. There are a lot of them that I actually love. But you will see that throughout the series. But for the first episode, I want to start with the tip of the iceberg, a title many of you recommended, a classic in the world of Slavjanks. You Are Empty. Before diving into the game itself, let's take a step back and talk about the people behind it. The developers were Digital Spray Studio, a small team out of Ukraine. Oh man, the Ukrainian gaming industry is strange, isn't it? On one hand, they gave us Stalker, a legendary atmospheric shooter that basically founded an entire genre. On the other hand, they gave us big rigs over-the-road racing, which is considered the worst video game ever made. So yeah, not the best track record, I would say. The thing is, the history of You Are Empty and the studio behind it is not exactly well documented. So I actually had to put on my Sherlock hat for this one and do some investigation.
Why would you want a checkered hat and a pipe?
You know, for the Sherlock Holmes look.
Digital Spray Studios operated out of Kyiv, Ukraine, so technically, yeah, it's a Slavjank. Their first game was supposed to be something called Triangle, but it was never released. Judging by the images I could find, it looked like a Serious Sam or Real Rock style arena shooter. I made a video on Real Rock, by the way. So their first game wasn't Triangle, it was You Are Empty. And I bet you didn't know, but they even made a game after You Are Empty called Instinct. But we will get back to that. When it comes to You Are Empty, there was another studio involved, named Mandel ArtPlains. And this is where things get weird. I couldn't find anything about Mandel. Until I did some digging and found out it was likely just one guy, a Ukrainian artist named Dennis. Even better, I found his email. I reached out to Dennis about a year ago for an interview, and surprisingly, he got back to me fairly quickly. But unfortunately, he never answered my questions. Given the ongoing war and situation in Ukraine, I completely understand. His message made it clear that things weren't easy. I'm pretty sure talking about a 20-year-old janky shooter was not exactly his priority. So I don't blame Dennis, I just hope he's doing okay. And if the opportunity ever comes up again, I would still love to hear his side of the story. From what I managed to piece together, Digital Spray handled the core gameplay, while Dennis was working on the visual side, models, concepts, artwork, and so on. I actually found a few concept arts as well, and they look pretty amazing. It's kind of funny that after these games, Digital Spray completely disappeared. And now, I'm pretty sure you're already bored, so let's see You Are Empty. If you search for this game, the first reviews you're gonna find are all about how bad it is. But as always, the story isn't that simple. Let's explore You Are Empty together. Okay, I have to admit, the menu looks surprisingly awesome. Most of the story is told through these cutscenes, and honestly, I really like them. The art style has this gritty Sin City vibe, and the black and white visuals immediately grabbed me. It seems we are playing as some kind of military official who just got hit by a car. Also, I'm pretty sure we are in the Soviet Union, so yeah, not a great day so far. We wake up in a hospital and quickly realize that the world has gone a little mad. We soon find our first weapon, and it's a pipe wrench. Man, this game knows what I like. And thankfully, this lovely nurse is just here to help me test it out. Also, fun fact, this might be the first shooter I've ever played where the max HP is 99. Not 100, 99. Okay, sure. I have to say though, I'm loving the grimy Soviet aesthetic. Honestly, if you walked into a hospital in my hometown, it would still look exactly like this, even in 2025. Oh, and we can break chairs. 10 out of 10. Okay, I'm sorry, but I have to complain. What is this walking speed? And there is no sprint button either. After some research, I found a sprint patch online, but that didn't work. So yay, snail time, snail time. We need to get the janitor's keys from the basement, but this lady keeps throwing needles at me. Come on, miss, I already had my flu vaccine this year. This is where I realized that the game has a lot of obvious scripted triggers. Like, I cleared the whole building, but as soon as I pick up the keys... Oh yeah. Eventually, we find a proper gun, and hey, it actually looks pretty good. I went back to inspect the nurse, and I realized she turned into a zombie. Okay, interesting. So we have a 28 days later situation here. I'm starting to get curious about the story, actually. Anyway, after some nice Soviet tunes, it's time to cremate a corpse to get another key and finally leave the building. In the courtyard, I tried to test the enemy's intelligence, and it went horribly wrong. Nice physics, I guess. And if you need more proof that the AI isn't exactly Einstein, this guy has some serious beef with that container. Go get him, boy. Also, there are two new enemy types, a zombie firefighter and a chunky guy in a Ushanka. Sure, why not? I think the game wants to be a survival horror, and the atmosphere is genuinely there, especially in the hospital. But the enemies are so ridiculously loud, you just always know when they are around the corner. Anyway, the plot thickens. We find a note about some mysterious unmarked vaccines being rolled out to the entire population. Oh no, I think I see where this is going. Guess the anti-vaxxers were right all along. We finally escape the hospital in a car, but not before fending off a few headbanger zombies. See ya, losers. Unfortunately, we only make it as far as a nearby lumber mill, which, surprise, has also fallen. And dude, say what you want about this game, but the environments are fantastic. This feels like an actual Soviet lumber mill. Rusty machinery, steamy boilers, eerie silence, it's just great. I also appreciate how unique it looks. The game doesn't really copy anything. Maybe a tiny bit of Stalker vibes, but that's about it. After a questionable gunfight with this guy... why did that explode? We find a note saying there's something wrong with the chickens. Holy crap, yeah, they weren't kidding. I wonder what's in there. This is where we meet the first NPC as well, and he looks and acts exactly like my local crackheads.
You gave them real hell! The trouble came from the city, yes! I'm telling you, the reason is there! Have you seen what is happening? It is they who are to blame, damned wise men!
Man, this guy is so disturbing. Since he's a professional yapper, I will translate. He wants us to go to the city council because that's where the source of the problem is. Then he refuses to elaborate and dies.
Help! You can make it, hurry up! Ah! Ah!
Cool, thanks buddy. More AI shenanigans. I swear, I'm not even doing this on purpose. Maybe they are just afraid of stairs. We take a train straight to a power plant and get another awesome cutscene. This one shows a kid mind controlling a dog. Okay, I still have no idea what's going on. Once again, this industrial area looks awesome. Old, rusty, grimy, and of course, full of lava. Yeah, this platforming section here gave me serious Half-Life flashbacks. We also get the nail gun, which is honestly one of my favorite weapons, and it has an iron sight as well. How cool! Wait. Never mind. The enemies that dropped the nail gun actually gave me a hard time. Just look at these reflexes, dude. Look how excited he is. Oh, I'm happy to see you too, buddy. Next up, a rooftop with some flying enemies. This is actually a pretty tough section, but it looks great. Maybe it's just me, but this feels a little bit like Call of Duty 4. I even found some Molotovs here. Awesome, this will be handy. Or not. I'm not an expert, but shouldn't Molotovs burn rather than explode? Whatever. We finally reached the city that, again, looks nice and depressing. Oh, and it has some lovely residents too. Come on, is that how you greet a visitor? The police have joined the party now and they are rocking these badass Mosins. This is hands down the best gun for longer ranges. Turns out the government was probably putting something in the water as well. Yep, it's that kind of story. Well, I will have a cold one anyway. We make it to the main square, which looks incredible. A giant statue, propaganda posters, it's all there. But when we finally reach the town hall, of course it's a trap. So time for a short nap. In the next cutscene, the same kid shows up again, recreating my gym experience, apparently. Anyway, we meet the mayor and...
Who are you?
Who are you? Bro, you just captured me, you should probably know, right? He gives us a film reel that's supposed to help us understand what's going on. Not gonna lie, he sounds kinda depressed though. Oh, okay, sorry. So now we have to find a cinema or something. I wasn't really paying attention. I was just trying to jump on his head. We wander around the city, fight some more enemies, until we find a tram. Wow, okay, this looks pretty cool. Unfortunately, the tram crashed so hard that I got stuck. Eventually, we reach the cinema and watch the reel. Turns out the whole population is being influenced by a strange broadcast that turns people into killers. So just a regular Tuesday in the Soviet Union, I guess. And yeah, the source of this signal is this massive statue that we've been seeing throughout the game. You know it, I know it, time to blow it up. Oh hey, a new enemy! Okay, not cool. To reach the tower, we go through the metro, and honestly, this was one of my favorite sections. The stations look beautiful, and just look at these train cars, they are so authentic. Some countries still use these even today. Crazy. We hop into a working train and ride away. The next cutscene gave me some university PTSD with all these integrals. Apparently, the kid is some kind of genius and solves it instantly. Still not sure who he is though. Then we go through a theater. Why? I have no idea. But the atmosphere is quite creepy here. There's some kind of whispering in the background. I really like that. We meet another NPC who's locked himself in and begs for help.
Those dirty bastards were chasing me, and now I'm locked in. Oh, it's terrible. I don't know what to do.
Fine, I will go get your key. We rescue the guy and turns out he is a performer. Man, he certainly didn't skip leg days, or other days for that matter. Anyway, he also refuses to elaborate and dies.
I must go now. Oh, goodbye.
Well, he's kind of shocked too. We have a brief fight on the stage, still not sure where this guy gets all those manhole covers from, by the way. Next is another rooftop section, this time with a sniper. Finally, I can use a scope. Wait, that's it? That's the zoom? Really? This was a nice level, actually, and realistic too. We finally reached the tower and oh boy, it looks impressive. I could also feed my cable car addiction here a little bit. Nice. The tower itself honestly feels like it's straight out of Half-Life 2, and clearly they put a real effort into it. This might be my favorite area in the whole game. We fight our way to the top, which is not an easy challenge, but when we get there, we can finally meet the mysterious guy from the cutscenes. Turns out they tried to make superhumans by integrating some kind of broadcast receiver into people. It didn't work, except it kinda did, because we are the result. He said he's proud of us and happy. Cool. Whatever, man. Anyway, now it's our choice. Take over the world or use his machine to go back in time and prevent all this. I chose to go back. Who wants to rule over zombies anyway? We stop the genius kid before he can hand over the plans and everything is back to normal. Roll credits. And now the big question, what do I think? I have to give credit where it's due. I really like the environment. The devs absolutely nailed the setting. From rundown hospitals to rusty industrial zones and eerie Soviet metros, the atmosphere is spot on. Maybe it's because I grew up in similar places, but these environments hit hard for me. You can tell this is where most of the effort went. The textures, models, objects and lighting carry the whole experience. If I had to guess, these are probably what Dennis worked on. The gameplay though is another story. Combat is super repetitive. You will fight the same 7 or 8 enemy types throughout the entire game. And since their AI is hilariously dumb, there is not much challenge. Sometimes they just run in circles or get stuck on staircases. And their placement often makes no sense whatsoever. Like, why are there guys with nail guns guarding the Soviet Citadel? Did they unionize or something? The slow movement speed doesn't help either. There is no sprint, no way to speed things up, just a long, tedious walk from one place to another. It really kills the pacing, especially after the mid-game. As for the horror elements, the game tries, I will give it that. The vibes are there. Creepy abandoned buildings, distorted audio cues, and unsettling NPCs. But the problem is, enemies are so loud, you can hear them coming from miles away. Instead of building tension, it just turns into unintentional comedy. I mean, just listen to this. Gunplay is decent. Weapons look good and unique, but some of them are nearly useless, like that electric thing. So I mostly use the nail gun and the PPSH throughout the entire game. Despite all that, I don't hate this game. In fact, I think the story is actually kinda cool. The cutscenes are weird and intriguing, and I kept playing because I genuinely wanted to know what the hell was going on. You can tell that these guys had ideas. They just didn't have the resources or time to fully realize them. Whether it was budget limitations, crunch from the publisher, or just the reality of being a small studio. I mean, just look at the credits. There are only a few names, some of them with the same surname, and a few even show up twice. So no, this game isn't an unplayable mess. And definitely not the worst game ever made, fellow YouTubers. It's rough, it's weird, but it's also kind of charming in a way. I had a lot of fun with it, but mostly because of the ridiculous, unexpected stuff that happened. If you like bizarre, janky games with strange ideas and a lot of heart, I think it's worth checking out. Plus, it's abandonware, so you can get it for free. Nothing to lose, am I right? Oh, and I haven't even mentioned the best part. Dennis actually started working on a remake. It's called Remind of Empty. I'm not sure when this project is gonna be finished, but I'm surely keeping an eye out. Please go and support his YouTube channel if you can. I will leave a link in the description. And that's all I've got for today. In the next episode, we're diving into Digital Spray's other game, Instinct. A lot of you recommended You Are Empty, so I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Also, don't forget to join our Discord if you want to have a chat or play some games with us. If you like this kind of content, please consider dropping a like or subscribing. I would really appreciate it. And as always, thanks for watching. Bye!